Yo, 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 what's
Yo, yo,
good?
yo. What's going on, man? What's up with you, man?
Oh man, just ready to get it popping. We're on episode 4. We had a pretty eventful fight weekend this past weekend. Then we had some good
Yes,
fights. We had
indeed.
some a couple letdowns, but overall I thought it was a good card.
Absolutely, man. Deadly Combination episode 4 presented by Gold Dirty Bastards. Shout out to all the subscribers. Thank everybody for tuning in and following the movement. Hit like, hit subscribe, share. We appreciate that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm your host. It's Major 415
I am
with
a
my
Nip
main
right
man.
here. Nip co-host.
Oh,
We got
man.
the co-host popping off.
For sure. Well, let's rock it, man. Let's
Let's
get
do it.
skip all the pleasantries. Let's get right into it, man. Let's flurry time, man. What we got
Flurry.
going on, man?
Let's
Kick
go
it
for the
off.
flurry. Let's go for the flurry. All right, so we had some more of these little Twitter, social media spats going off. We had an interesting one. Gervonta Davis and Regis Prograis. They've been going at it, talking a lot of shit about each other. Um, and I don't know where it stems from, but basically, I don't think this is something Tank wants inside of the ring. I think if he were to go up to 140 and fuck a Regis, I think he might get KO'd. Like Regis got some pop. And I know Tank is very gifted, but I think Tank is more should stay in his lane a little bit and focus on 130, 135. I think all this talk of going up to 140, I think it's kind of a mistake for him because he's small in stature. He got pop,
Mhm.
he has power, but we don't know how his power is going to go up 2 divisions. So I mean, we've talked about this already, but
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
we talked about it last week. We were talking about the Mario Barrios rumors.
hmm the Regis is a bad dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think up there, like he's definitely has some power. I think as a fight fan, you know what I'm saying? As a fight fan, it definitely would be something I would want to see. But I think they capping, man, especially Tank, man. I think Tank stop capping, man. I think online it just looks good. You know what I'm saying? I think pretty much Barrios is probably who he's going to end up fighting. That's the lesser of the threat. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't pose as much of a threat to beating Tank, and I think that's what that's about. Jaw Jack, and obviously people gonna throw shots back and forth, but man, I want to see some shit get shaken, man. Enough of this back and forth on Twitter. You have dogs at lightweight. You know what I mean? You have dogs at lightweight you can fight. I mean, and you even have people at 130 you can fight. So I mean, if you're not going to take none of these hitters and you're going to go up and you're gonna take the safe fight with Barrios, man, just do that and stand on that. You know what I mean? And that is what it is. Especially because Regis isn't really a big name. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of risk without even a reward. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things, man. But stop capping, man. Get offline with that shit. Wasn't Tank saying he put him to sleep early? So he said he
Yeah,
said he
yeah,
put
he
him to
said
sleep
some shit
early.
like that.
He tuck him in. You know what I'm saying? He tuck him in the bed, man. I like to see it, man. We would like to see it, but I don't know that that's something that's going to come to fruition. You know what I mean? I think it's like to say it's a media war. You know what I mean? It helps Regis get his name out there, and then Tank just stays on social media anyway. So it is what it is, man.
Yeah, Tank be having hella spats. He be in everything. He
He
definitely
be
got
in it
his
with
name popping
everybody.
on that shit.
And I like that shit. Like I can't. I like being in the mix, but I think
You got to start backing
doing
this shit
that
up with a
and
fight.
backing it up, yeah, it got to go hand in hand. I wouldn't mind it if you was really taken, but you can't be like, oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. You know what I'm saying? And we believe you definitely top level. You know what I mean? Lightweight, but
We
when
got to
you
see this
taking
shit.
tall fights, we got to see you. We got to see you. We got to see you hold your nuts, man. You know what I mean? Go out there and square up with somebody. I know it's a business and stuff. I understand that it's a business, but you can make money fighting. There's a lot of people you can fight and still get a decent bag with your name being where it is. You know what I mean? So get in there with somebody. Don't just be taking these soft opponents. You know what I mean? The Santa Cruz fight wasn't exactly a he was expected to win that fight. There hasn't been a fight that I've seen him in that he wasn't expected to win. You know what I mean? Or that was even he wasn't a super heavy favorite in that fight. So
No,
it's one
that's
of those
true.
things where it's like, right? You know what I mean? So
Yeah, we ain't
we
seen
want
him
to see
against
it.
nobody like that.
We ain't seen him against nobody that was less than a 2-1 underdog.
Even money, we ain't seen it close to even money type of fight.
Not even, yeah. So it's one of those things where we gotta determine as to what's what. You know what I mean? We want to see it, man. I mean, I like the online banter, but we like more is the in ring fighting. I mean, that's what we're here for. You feel me? So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is what it is. Okay.
So then we had some other news. Haney and Linares, we had speculated in this, I believe. This one is, I think it's official, and it's going to be on the Zone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the date. I think it was May. I want to say May 22nd, just off the top of my head. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But we talked about this is a good fight for Haney, and this was another. We had some social media beef between Loma and Haney last week. We had talked about that. Nothing came
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Nothing came of it,
Mm-hmm.
and we kind of speculated. We didn't really see much. We didn't think it was gonna actually happen. And
Yeah, yeah.
like I said, we just want to see, you guys talking all this shit, but we want to see some real fights. Now, I ain't mad at this fight. I think this is a good
Not
fight.
at all. Not at all.
It makes a lot of sense for Haney. It'll Linares is a name. He's not the best, but he's still a solid B level fighter.
He's a solid B level, B
It
plus
would be the
fighter.
best fighter
Solid
he beat.
fighter.
It would be the best fighter he's beaten,
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. That's a fact.
and he's gonna bring it.
Um,
You know what I mean? He's not just gonna roll over. It'll be a decent fight. So I'm all for
yeah,
it.
and he's coming off a KO victory. Linares is. I think it's dope. Like I always say, man, you can only kill who they put in front of you. I don't think Haney's ducking smoke with anybody. I think it's just a matter of getting people in the ring. Linares is a dog, man. You know what I mean? He's a dog. He's been in there with the greats, former champion. He's definitely going to bring it. He definitely has a point to prove, and he understands that, beating Haney and stopping the Haney hype train, quote unquote, definitely will be a feather in his cap and definitely prompt him back to stardom and put him in line for some bigger fights. So I'm glad. I mean, I think it's a great fight. I think it's a great testing point for Haney, and I think that it'll just make his marketability go up. A victory over Linares will definitely make his marketability go up. And likewise with Linares, another win puts him back in the puts him right back in the groove of things. In terms of getting bigger fights. Didn't he fight Lomo? What? Not that long ago. Oh no, he
Maybe
fought
two
Lomo a
years
while
ago,
ago.
2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, 4 fights ago. It looks like 4 or 5 fights ago. So I mean, he's it's definitely a good fight. You know what I mean? It's definitely a good fight. Definitely something I want to see, and I'm just glad to see Haney back in the ring. That's one of my favorite up and coming fighters. You know what I
Who are
mean?
you who are you putting the blame on as far as it falling through? You think it was just promotional, or you think I would say Loma? I think Loma probably don't
Well,
want no
it's just
smoke.
promotional. I think it was. I think this Linares fight was already in the works. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? To be
that's true.
honest.
It was. It was.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was already in the works. You know what I mean? But I didn't expect Lomo to come back so soon. When did Lomo fight? Like, wasn't he going through surgery for a shoulder injury or
Yeah,
something like
something like
that?
that. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that it was already in the works. I don't think that the Lomo fight was even really viable. I thought it was again like some Twitter shit. Not to say they couldn't make it happen, but I don't think that Lomo would be ready. Furthermore, I think that a fight like that would need more promotion than from March to May. You know what I mean? Or March to May. They would probably really try to hype that up, at least give it a good 4 to 6 month promo run to
Get that
really,
popping
really
in September
get that popping.
if
Yeah.
Linares if he beats Linares, that's a good matchup right
Hey,
there.
hey, or if any of these other motherfuckers stop ducking, you know what I mean? I mean, you got Tiafimo. The thing is, and this is what frustrates me, not to go off topic, none of these dudes is fighting each other. You have all of these great lightweights, and
All that
Haney got
talk
to go to
too.
Linares to get a fight weight, get a fight. Tank don't seem like he want to fight anybody. You know what I'm saying? Tiafimo's locked in contract quarrels with Aram, and it's going to go up to 140. And it's just like nobody's really locking in when you have mega fights within your division. So it's just like, yeah. But once again, back on the topic that we're talking about, Linares vs. Haney, definitely a good fight. Definitely going to tune in. Definitely going to watch it, man. Definitely think it's a
Taking
dope
Haney
fight.
in that one. I think Haney gets that win pretty easily.
Yeah, I think
Not
Haney by
easily, but
UD.
yeah,
Yeah,
unanimous.
I got Haney by decision. If Haney can get a knockout, though, that'll really skyrocket his power. If he could get a stoppage, I think that'll really put him up
I don't
there.
think you'll
And it could
stop
be,
him. I got decision too. I say unanimous
yeah, I got
decision.
decision. I'm just saying if he does,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
definitely elevates his star power because that's a stoppage against a blue chip guy. You know what I mean? A durable former champion guy. So, I think that's a good fight though. Shout out to both of those fighters, man. Shout out to both of them for locking that in, man. That's what we want to see.
So yeah, it looks like May is gonna be off the hook. We got
Mm-hmm.
another one. Some other news, rumors. We had Crawford versus Porter. It was rumored to be possibly happening in May. So
Yeah.
I think that's a solid fight if that could happen. We've been asking for this one for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Porter would probably be the best opponent Crawford has had. I would say definitely, actually.
No, without a doubt, man. That's a fact, man. I like that. I love that fight. I mean, we've talked about this fight, and you go back to the early Gold Dirty Bastards joints, and when after Crawford's last win against Kell Brook when we were laying out opponents. I was like, we wanted to see him against, at least I didn't want to see him against the Porters. I wanted to see him against the Danny Garcias, a legit welterweight dogs. And Porter's a dog, man. So I love this fight, man. I love this fight. Porter's always brings it. You never got to worry about if Porter going to bring it. He's going to come in, he's going to bring it. And obviously Crawford is top notch. You know what I mean? I think definitely without a doubt, Crawford's going to be a heavy favorite going into this fight. But Porter's a dog. Porter's a dog, and regardless of how, when I speak on Porter, like I've said before, Crawford's gonna know he was in a fight, regardless of the outcome. Porter's gonna come forward. He's gonna throw a lot of punches. He's gonna grapple. He's gonna headbutt. He's gonna make it a tough night in there. So man, I can't wait, man. You know I can't, and I know Buzz your boy, so I know you can't wait, man. This is one of them ones, man. This is one of them. This is what we talk about when we talk about the fights, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just want to see. I hope this shit actually happens. I'm not gonna hold my breath, but it looks like. I mean, it shapes up. It shapes up that it would be ideal for both guys. It gets Porter a shot at a, top 2 or 3 P for P guy, and for Crawford, if he gets a dub, it gives him a legitimate claim to either some higher money from the. If they do fight with Spence, or just gives him more claim to the P
supremacy.
Yes,
welterweight supremacy. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. Like, I think that's especially considering that I thought Porter beat Spence.
I thought Porter beat Spence many times.
We've had it multiple times, right? So in comparison, you have an easy night with him. Then it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Then it starts to really like, okay, well, maybe you can start to ask for more. So I like this fight just as a fan, man. I'm definitely picking Crawford on that one. I don't think he's going to stop Porter, but I definitely see him, him giving Porter a rough time in there. But likewise, I see Porter winning some rounds. I don't think it'll just be a landslide, but I think probably like an 8-4, something like that, 8 rounds to 4, something around that area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Bud just has he's too dynamic. He can adjust. He can do more things better than Porter. He's a better boxer. I think he has more one-punch power than Porter. I think Porter's he's a volume guy. The one area I would say he may that Porter may have an advantage would be body shots, because I don't think Crawford goes to the body as much and as often. So I think that would be one thing where if he could like smother him the whole fight, make it nasty, give him some headbutts maybe, just get inside. I'll give him a slim chance, but I'm definitely thinking Crawford's ring generalship will show through this. And I say he gets the decision. I don't think he stops him either. I'd say unanimous decision, but good, entertaining fight. So
I mean, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you on a lot of those points. I think that some of the advantages that Porter may have is his tenacity and his cardio. He doesn't get tired. You know what I'm saying? He's tenacious. He's a cardio machine. He likes to smother people. I think definitely I agree with you. I think that Crawford has like all of the intangibles. He has the better power. He can switch. I think in terms of making adjustments mid-fight, that's all Crawford. That's all his lane. The thing about Crawford is he's a fighter that likes to fight. You know what I mean? And sometimes he gets in there unnecessarily and just because he wants to mix it up. I don't suggest he does that with Porter. I think that his best chance of being dominant is to really just box him, land some power shots, box him, use his reach because he's longer than him. And also, I haven't really seen Crawford go too many 12-round fights. So that'd be interesting too, especially with a dude like Porter who's going to push forward. Porter doesn't take back steps. So it's going to be interesting to see that fight. But I still stand on, I feel like Crawford's going to win, a unanimous decision, 12 rounds.
I'm all for this fight. I hope they make it. This shit's going to be lit.
All for it. This shit's going to be lit. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them things, man.
All right, so we have some other news. Andrew Ruiz, I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but this dude looked like he lost a good 40 pounds. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but at least
he's been looking lean, though. He's been looking lean for a minute, though.
So he's in good shape heading in for a fight against, what's your boy's name? Areola. And, now they're starting to hear rumors that, people are saying that since he joined Eddie Reynoso and Canelo's camp, maybe he's on that clenbuterol, he's on that Canelo beef. I don't know. What do you think on that? You think it's legit?
I mean, it could be either way, man. It's hard to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's, it could be either one. You know what I mean? I mean, he had a lot of weight to lose, and being that overweight, if you're training hard and you have a semi-dedicated diet, it's not that hard to lose a ton of weight. You know what I mean? So I don't know. He already had power. I think it's going to be hard to say. I think we really just got to see him fight in order to really make a better determination if he's on it or not. Now, granted, he is with the dirty camp, a camp that was quote unquote allegedly dirty, or not even allegedly. They were, a dirty camp. I mean, it could be either way. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he went there because Canelo's dope and it was, his trainer and he wanted to be a part of that camp. And maybe he went there because he wanted some adjustments. But I don't think the way he looks now necessarily means he's on steroids. I mean, he lost some weight,
Now,
but it's not like he's
Clint Buterol, is just for cutting weight, or is it just used in general?
I don't know, to be honest.
My understanding is that it's just used for cutting weight. I could be wrong on that though.
I think it's used for probably weight loss. You know what I mean? But that it's available and over the counter too. So I mean, I think depending on the doses, I mean, he might have some help, bro. Like, I mean, I don't know that is performance enhancing.
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, dude. I think because I think he was just eating whatever the fuck he wanted. I think he was riding high off that first victory against Anthony Joshua. I think he let himself go. I think he was because that second fight he looked even bigger than the first one. I think.
I mean, he's always been big though. You know what I mean? He's always been big, and I think that he's gotten away with it because he's been successful. My partner, Big U. Shout out to Big U, Barber U. But he cuts his hair when he comes out to Vegas. He cuts his hair, and he was living a champ lifestyle. Ruiz was, spending money, just pretty much eating whatever the fuck. I mean, I even seen one of his camps where he's eating pizza, he's eating wings, he's eating this, he's eating that. So it's not that hard if you kind of moderate your diet and you train like a professional fighter to lose 40 pounds. I mean, I would definitely give him the benefit of the doubt. I would just give him the benefit of the doubt until he proves otherwise. I'm not going to jump on that. Now, if he came out looking all built and he looked like Deontay Wilder, then I definitely would be like, yo, what the fuck is going on? If he came out, he was all yoked, but he just looks like, it's not that hard to lose 40 pounds when probably 10 or 12 of that is just bloat in general, just from you eating bad and not taking shit serious. So, it's one of those things.
I'm excited to see him come back. Yeah.
I am too. I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's exciting for the division. I think he fucking steamrolls Areola. You know what I mean? I think he steamrolls Areola. I think
and they're talking about Wilder and him match up eventually down the road, which I think is a good ass fight. That'll be a dope fight. Because Wilder got that power and the height and reach, but Andy far surpasses him in boxing skill and technique. And Andy has some pretty good pop. Yeah.
And he's got pop. Yeah, and he's got pop. So it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see, though. Interesting point to see, though. Does a weight loss affect his power?
That's what we got to see. Areola's not going to give us all the answers, but he'll give us a glimpse as to, if he still has some pop.
Yeah, because losing 40 pounds is a lot. You know what I mean? So, moving on. MMA. So Clarissa Shields, a world-renowned female boxer, she wants an MMA fight with Amanda Nunes down the line. Clarissa Shields is incredible in the boxing world. I read an article actually about her probably like a few months ago, 6 months ago, and she was talking about she could become a jiu-jitsu black belt in a year she trained, or somebody said that. I don't know if it was her specifically. That's cap. Like, I don't give a fuck how talented you are. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean?
I don't care how many years. 4.
It depends on who. I mean, it depends, bro. Like, I mean, it's hard to say. I would say 3 if you're phenomenal. You know what I mean? It's just a different discipline. You know what I mean? It's very different, and there's a lot of subtleties with it. So, I mean, it depends on how fast you learn. And just because you're super good at boxing that you've done all your life doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to transfer over to you being, great at jiu-jitsu. But having said that, I think she's definitely, if with the right training, I think she definitely could be a threat in the MMA game, just for the simple fact her hands are just really off the hook. You know what I mean? She could definitely knock some people out. Fighting Nunes, though,
that's a whole other beast.
That's a whole other ball game. I think definitely, if anything, she needs to test that water. You know what I mean? If anything, she needs to test that water and see. I mean, and I get it. You know what I mean? You want to aim for the top. You want to aim for the top line, but it's a lot of people that can give you wreck. And you can ask anybody, because there's a lot of professional boxers in MMA, people that have been in MMA. Holly Holm is one of them, you know what I mean? And there's a bunch of other people, but it's a different beast. You know what I mean? You have to, you can't just throw punches because you have to protect yourself from kicks. You have to protect yourself from the takedown, and you have to be able to mix it all together. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that is, I don't know. I think that she just needs to definitely just get in there and fight with a few people, and then you can call out Nunes, because Nunes is a completely different fucking animal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think she'll be smart though. She was saying 2 or 3 years down the line, which if Amanda Nunes may not even be relevant at that point. Not relevant, but
Yeah.
she
She
could
might
have
be retired.
retired. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll
She might
see.
be retired by now. But I will say this. Shout out to her, man. Shout out to Clarissa Shields, because, man, reach for the top. Aim for the top, man. If you aim for the sky and hit the stars, it's not a problem with that. But just get in there, definitely, and take your time. And I'm sure she got a good team around her. You know what I mean? So I don't think it'll be too much of a problem.
She's just looking at challenging herself because, there's nobody out there in the boxing world that
Nobody.
can fuck with her. So
Nobody.
I commend her on looking to do something to shake things up, keep her motivated and give the fans something they want to see.
I mean, and she'll knock a lot of these brides out off the rip. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
if she just works on takedown defense, that'll be good enough.
Yeah. I mean, she'll knock a lot of these brides out without a doubt. You know what I mean? Like just off the rip with 6 months of training. But once you get into that higher echelon of fighters, you know what I mean? That's when you start to have problems, and women that can all put it together, and people that have been training, 5, 6, 10, 15 years, you know what I mean? That can wrestle, grapple, and kind of take away what you're great at. You know what I mean? So, but shout out to her. I definitely want to see her. I definitely be looking forward to her MMA debut. You know what I mean? Hopefully we can get it sooner than later. You know what I mean? In other news, Dana White said he's going to bet $1 million on the upcoming fight between Ben Askren and Jake Paul. And
he said that shit on Tyson. On Tyson shit too.
I see this shit, and I was dead when I said it, but I was dead. Yeah, man, I agree with him. You know what I'm saying? I think that Jake Paul. I think he's a product of hype. You know what I mean? And Ben Askren, even though he's not even known as a striker, I wouldn't even call his striking good for MMA. But he's a professional fighter, and he's been a professional fighter, and he was an undefeated professional fighter for 19 fights, something like that, 20 fights almost. You know what I mean? I think that just the discipline and the boxing training that he has, I think it's a safe bet for Dana. What you think, man?
I mean, I don't know. I want to ride with Dana on this, even though I don't like Dana, but I want to ride with him on this just because I can't stand Jake Paul. But I don't know, man. Askren, I ain't seen nothing like from videos that his boxing looks pretty fucking weak. Like, I ain't gonna front. Now he could be just like playing mind games, throwing these videos out there where he looks kind of weak. But I haven't seen anything like that scares me. But Jake Paul, I don't know, man. Jake Paul does actually have some power. I can't front. But then he hasn't fought. We haven't seen him against the actual guy who's trained either. So I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off my pick on this one for another couple weeks.
Bro, he knocked out. Who did he knock out? Nate Robinson?
Yeah, Nate Robinson. Bro.
I mean, come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? A shout out to
But
Nate
he's
Robinson.
dedicated. He is training and shit. He is training with he's sparring with real people.
Man,
I can't stand the dude, but I'm just saying, I don't think Askren. It was a good reason they picked Askren out of all these fucking MMA fighters and even past MMA fighters they could have got. I'd rather see him fight Chuck Liddell at whatever age he's at, 55, 60.
I got Askren, bro. I don't give a shit. I got Askren. You know what I'm saying? I got Askren. I just think he's just too. I think he's just too much of a competitor. And the thing is, we got to look at it this way. Askren's competed on the highest levels. In terms of wrestling and in terms of MMA, he's used to it. I think Jake Paul's got you. He didn't even look good against Robinson to me. He just looked like Robinson just looked bad. You know what I mean? You're not going up against it. You're not going in there with the amateur that jumped in there for a check. You're going in there with the professional fighter, regardless if it's MMA. MMA fighters box. They do straight.
I mean, if I had to pick, I guess I would have to say I'll take Askren, but like I said, he's the weakest of all the fucking MMA fighters as far as striking goes.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a safe bet. But I think he's still a pro fighter, and I think this will further prove that you're not a pro, dude. You're not a pro fighter, so you need to chill the fuck out. What's funny is yesterday they were saying that Jake Paul doubled and wants to bet $2 million.
Yeah, I seen that shit. He was talking shit. He
wants to bet $2 million.
But we put it in escrow and blah 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 blah.
I want to see him get sat on his ass. You know what I mean? I want to see him get sat on his ass. Period, man. I ain't got time for this shit, man. I got time.
I wish he would go after a retired boxer or something. Somebody that actually knows how to box. You know what I mean?
Should go on.
Tarver wanted him. Tarver wanted him.
Yeah, he didn't want no smoke. Go after an 8-0 boxer. Go after an 8-0 boxer. Like not even a retired boxer. Go after a dude that's 5-0.
What
6 and
fucking
0.
weight is he at? Like I want to say like
170,
175.
180,
He's like a
170,
light
180.
heavyweight. Yeah, he'll get
I think
folded.
him and Robinson fought at 180. I think that's what they
Yeah,
fought
he'll
at
get
catchweight, like at
folded. He'll
180.
get
He'll
folded
get
at by a
folded, bro.
light heavyweight.
Put him up against a blue chip fucking amateur, dude. Put him up against a dude that just went pro. You know what I mean? And we'll see how it rocks. So, long story short, I'm fucking with. I definitely think. I think it's a safe bet with Dana. You know what I mean? I'm going for Askren. I don't think that. I don't see anything from Paul ever that makes me think that he's even legit. You know what I mean? Beating Nate Robinson ain't gonna get it. You know what I mean? Like you haven't fought anybody legit. You can spar with whoever, but you can only learn so much in 6 months or a year. So we're gonna see. We are definitely gonna see. Sticking with MMA, Adesanya versus Darren Till is rumored. What's your
I'm not
thoughts
big on
on that?
this one, man. I
I'm
don't
not
really
big
like
on this one
this.
either.
Till has been knocked out a few times to my knowledge, recently too, if I'm not mistaken.
Till
Yeah,
Till's solid, but I don't.
hasn't he been knocked
I'm not
out though,
sure.
or am I tripping?
I don't know if he's been knocked out. Let's look up his record. I don't know if he's been knocked out, but if Izzy's going back down, Israel Adesanya, if he's going back down to middleweight to rehash whatever's going on down there, I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
That's
I
what
mean,
I would like to see.
that's who he needs to fight. Till, yeah, he got knocked out by Masvidal in 2000, and that was last 2019. That was almost 2 years ago. And then he lost to Tyron Woodley. Oh, nope. And he got beat by Robert Whitaker. He's lost 3 out of his last 4.
Yeah, but he didn't get stopped in those other two. He only got stopped by.
He only got
Masvidal?
stopped by Masvidal. He got beat
Okay,
by.
well I knew he lost.
Oh no, he got submitted by Woodley too.
Yeah,
So
he's
and he
fucking
lost
weak.
the
I mean, he's
decision.
not weak. I wouldn't say he's weak, but I mean, he's not. He shouldn't be fighting Adesanya. What is he ranked? Do we have a ranking on this dude?
He's up there though, but Thompson is number 2. I mean, that's who we should be fighting.
I'd much
You know
rather
what I mean?
see Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy has that style where he can strike too. I think that would be some fireworks in that fight. It would be a much more entertaining fight.
Or if anything, bro, like I'd even rather see him fight Whitaker again. To be honest with you, I'd rather see him rematch Whitaker or Thompson than see him fight Till. I just don't think that's a good fight. You know what I mean? But I mean, if it happens, I think it'll be entertaining. But it's just not a good fight. You know what I mean? In terms of
I got Izzy by stoppage.
yeah, I got Izzy by stoppage too. You know what I mean? And that's all we're gonna say about that because that shit is cat, man. Blachowicz versus Teixeira. Jan successfully defended his title against Adesanya. Glover Teixeira is the next in line for that. Glover Teixeira previously actually challenged for the light heavyweight belt against John Jones and was unsuccessful. I love this fight, man.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Glover's a bad dude, man. Glover's a bad dude, man. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people sleep on him because he's a little bit long on the tooth, but he's a bad dude. And I think an interesting caveat for that fight is Glover, his last fight, he fucked up Thiago Santos. Thiago Santos stopped Jan. I mean, and he tooled Santos. He took him down. He grappled with them. Glover's a real deal, man. He's a good striker. He's a very, 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 very stout grappler. And I don't think this is a walk in the park. I think this is a good fight, although I don't think it'll get the acclaim that it needs to get just because none of these dudes are really stars. And maybe Blachowicz is, in the Caucasus Mountains or whatever the fuck. But I don't think he's like a big name. But I think this is a great fight, though. I'm interested to see that.
I'm with you on that. I don't think they couldn't make this a main event, right?
They could. It's a light heavyweight title. Maybe not on a big card, but they would.
Yeah,
maybe a
one of them
co.
smaller tier cards.
Yeah, on a smaller tier
I
card.
want to see it. I'm excited. I like Glover, and Jan's been pretty good so far from what I've seen of him in the last few fights. I'm gonna take I'm gonna make an early upset pick. I'm gonna take Glover to upset him. I think he's probably gonna have his head a little bit big off of beating Adesanya, but I think Glover's a whole another beast, and I think he can get Yan down to the ground, and I think he can give him some ground and pound, maybe sub him or something like that. I think it would probably go, maybe 4 or 5 rounds, but I think I would take the OG.
I think I'm taking him too, bro. I fuck with Glover. You know what I'm saying? Like I fuck with Glover. I think he's dope. And I like his fight style, and I've watched him for years. And yeah, I would take him too. You know what I mean? I think that He's durable, and I think he has a lot of intangibles. He's a tough dude, and I think he's hungrier. You know, what I mean,
And he got
he's
some
been
power
there.
too.
He has hella power. He has hella power, and he has very good grappling. Like he doesn't have a lot of weaknesses.
He's a
You know
black
what I
belt in
mean?
jiu-jitsu as well, right?
They both are. Yeah, they both
Okay.
are. They both are. But I
I
would
kind of
say
hold Glover's over.
that's what I was about to say. I would say I think Glover has levels. Glover has competed in competition grappling and succeeded. You know what I mean? And whereas Jan, and not to say is Jan hasn't. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I think I would pick Glover too. I think by sub. I think by sub or by TKO ground and pound, I think he gets it down to the ground and takes him out. But all in all, good fight. You know what I mean? Excellent fight. I know that John Jones is always in the background because when you think of light heavyweights, you can't not think of John Jones. I think he's always in the background. Okay, well, maybe John Jones will come back for the winner. I think the only way Jones does come back, though, is if Jan keeps on a tear. If Jan keeps on a tear, he'll probably come back, to try to restore order, so to speak. But if Glover wins, I couldn't imagine John Jones going back down to light heavyweight to fight Glover again.
Unless Jones takes an L or something up at heavyweight, and then he's like, "Oh, I don't want to fuck with this. I'll just go back to light heavyweight." But slim, I think the chances of that are slim. I think he's probably a heavyweight for the rest of his career.
No, I mean, I don't know that I wouldn't say that he's a heavyweight. I would just say in order to come to light heavyweight, it has to be a mega fight, or in order to drop back down, it has to be a mega fight. And we all know that the potential mega fight was with Izzy and him in December, but that's dead for the time being. So I don't picture him coming back down, but I could see possibly him coming back down if Jan stops Glover, and let's say Jan stops somebody else, he might. He just might. You know what I mean? So I think it's one of those things. Okay, moving on. We have UFC Fight Night this weekend, and we have a welterweight main event, which has a lot of title implications. Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad. Very solid fight. Leon Edwards is on, I believe, an 8 or 9 fight win streak. He had some fights halted due to COVID and things
like
of that
4
nature.
in a row, I believe.
I think, yeah, a ton of them. So he's been sitting on the sidelines. Dana White actually came out and said if he wins this fight, he's going to be in line for the title against Usman. Belal Muhammad has been tearing shit up as well. I believe he has 4 straight victories, and he's been looking more impressive as he goes on. Very solid MMA guy. I think this is going to be an exciting fight. Absolutely. Definitely tune in. I would probably edge it to Leon Edwards.
I'm going with Edwards too.
Yeah, I think he just has the length, and I think that he's going to be able to implement his game plan properly. But Belal Muhammad's no slouch. Yeah, short notice. Belal Muhammad's no slouch, so I definitely think that he could get in. What do you think about it? You said you
yeah. I'm riding with Edwards. I think Edwards is a pretty damn good striker. I think he'll be able to I think he'll be able to, honestly, I can't front. I don't know too much about Belal Muhammad, but I have seen a lot of Edwards, and I think Edwards is almost, I would say, elite level striking. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he comes from like the European Dutch kickboxing. He's up there. He's up there as far as striking.
What's Belal's strengths?
He's well-rounded, but he's grappling. You know what I mean? Ground and pound grappling, but he's well-rounded, but primarily grappling, ground and pound takedown, which will be interesting to see. I mean, and that's the meta game. We always talk about the meta game, the game with inside the game. It's to see how Leon Edwards defends the takedowns, because I think if it stays standing, it's going to be a long night for Belal. You know what I mean? But yeah, Muhammad's mainly he's a grappler. You know what I mean? He's well-rounded, but primarily he wants to take you down and pound on you.
I think Edwards could stay away from that. I think he's wily enough to stay away from the ground. I think he just keeps his distance, maybe works the jab, throw some kicks in there. I think I think he'll be able to take him out. And I think he's hungry. He's had to wait a while to get a good fight. And he's aiming at the championship, but he's also aiming at Masvidal, and there's that, that bad blood that's been brewing for years. He claims he's been trying to get Masvidal in the ring for a good 3 years, I believe. And Masvidal seems to not want to make that happen, or I don't know why it hasn't happened, but Leon claims that it's because he doesn't want no smoke. Masvidal caught him backstage with a clean, I think it was a left hook, cut his eye. So there's bad.
There's beef, yeah. But at the end of the day, if you're in line for a title shot versus Usman, You know what I mean? That's some shit you're gonna put on the back burner. You know what I mean? That's
True.
not something you're necessarily chasing. If Daniel says, "Hey, if you get this work," now on the flip side, if you lose, the Masvidal fight is still viable because Masvidal is not ranked up there. You're not going to drop that much, so it's still viable. You know what I mean? So he's in a good position. But I would like to see him win. I would like to see him fight Usman. I mean, to be
I'd rather
honest,
see him fight Masvidal. I guess that's what I'm saying. Because I think Usman will just smother him. I think Usman is too much. I think he'll
but
smother him. I think he can get Leon down to the ground because he's elite wrestler. You know, I
yeah,
think he would be able to take him down. And I think it might be a boring fight because he might just lay on him and pound him out.
yeah, but there's always a striker's chance, and I just think for the body of work, it's good to get that reward. You know what I mean? Like it's good to get that reward to where you've put in 8, 9 victories in a row, and then you get to fight the champion. I mean, that's how it should be. So I do think that Masvidal versus. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's a more exciting fight, particularly. But I think I would like to see him now because I don't think that fight's going anywhere. You know what I mean? I don't think that fight versus Masvidal. Yeah. It's always marketable because Masvidal is not really. He's not really a dude that you know. And I don't want. How do I put this? He's not a dude that you earn a fight against. You know what I mean? Because he's not. I mean, he's very popular, but in terms of ranking,
the BMF
he's not.
Belt.
Yeah, but that's just a made up belt.
Defend it, but
it's not defended. I mean, it's just a belt with, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he's a dude, it's always going to be there. As long as the media is there and as long as there's beef and tension, a fight with him can always be made. You know what I mean?
True.
Whereas a championship fight it's more illustrious, a championship fight. But I would say that Usman beats him. But I like this fight. I definitely tune into Fight Night, on Saturday. Both fighters weighed in today, and it's going to be interesting to see this fight. And fucking at the weigh-ins, Edwards looked a lot longer and a lot taller than Mohammed. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see how he does, how he deals with that reach. Speaking of Mohammed Belal, and this is just some color commentary. He was in the media and basically saying he wants Covington. He doesn't like Covington. He wants Covington, and he won his.
Yeah, hold up. We lost you real quick. Hold up. It's just geeking. Hold on.
To say,
there you go. Hold on. I missed a lot of what you said. It had froze up. Yeah, hold up.
Yo.
Okay, you're good now. I missed that whole little thing you said though.
Okay, yeah. Oh shit, my shit! But I don't know what happened if my stuff froze or what. But I was saying basically, Mohammed Belal basically said he wants Kobe Covington, and he basically went as far as to say he would put hands on him if he saw him in public. He would beat his ass, and that's kind of where he was at. And he basically said he's tired of the disrespect. He's tired of Covington, and he basically said Covington's a character, and he plays a part, but sometimes that part goes too far in terms of how Covington acts. Thoughts? Talk to me, man.
Nah, I'm with Belal Muhammad, man. I can't stand Covington. I think he's gone way too far, too many times, and he just rubs people the wrong way. And he talks this tough guy shit, but then when people get in his face, he don't really be about shit. He's one of them dudes that just be like, oh, it's for show, or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Conor the same way, talking that shit, and then when Khabib got him in the cage, fucking him up, in between rounds, he was like, oh, it's just for show, blah blah blah. I just think that the gimmick is worn off. People are tired of it. Fellow fighters want to just get in there and beat his fucking ass. So I'm with Belal on this one.
He ain't even talking about getting in there. He's talking about if he see him, it's on. You know what I mean?
On site.
Which is dope. I mean, but I like that shit though. And here's the reason why, man. I'm not for the WWE stuff. You know what I mean? Like, this is real fighting. This is real martial arts. You can sell a fight. You know what I mean? Sell the fight, cool. But there's areas you don't cross. You know what I mean? And if you're going to cross those lines when selling a fight, you got to stand on that. And when somebody approaches you in public or somebody really wants to get out you have to stand on that. So I much rather respect if Covington was the same person 24 hours. Cameras on, cameras off. He's just a racist dickhead. You know what I mean? Like that would work. I mean, I wouldn't like it, but at least that's you. But when you zoom in and you tap into a character because that's what you think, that's whack to me. Just be who you are. You don't have to be a character. You know what I mean? Especially this is martial arts. So I understand how Muhammad could, have some issues with the way he conducts himself and carries himself. And I think it would be a good fight. You know what I mean? I would like to see it, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. I think Covington is, he's high ranked. I think Belal's ranked number 13 right now. in the welterweight division. Obviously, a win versus Edwards would catapult him, but I think they're just too far in rankings, and Covington's still up there, and he's gonna try to get another fight with Usman or whatever. But at the end of the day, man, I'm against the whole WWE shit, man. Just be who you are. If you really don't like somebody, you really got an issue with somebody, then just have that issue. But don't be this big bad person when the cameras are on and then they turn off. Oh, it was just a show. It's for the show. Nah, man, you got to stand on that. You know what I mean? Like,
No
you got to
doubt.
stand on that. Once you get to disrespecting people's wives, people's religion, things of that nature, some of that shit doesn't die in the ring. You know what I mean? Like, it don't die in the ring. Some people are really going to want to see you. They might bring it to your front door. So you got to be cognizant of that.
Like
You know
Khabib.
what I mean? Like Khabib, exactly. You know what I mean? You have to be cognizant of that. You know what I mean? So it's one of the things. Moving on.
Yeah. Let's get into
UFC,
some of this meat and potatoes here.
meat and potatoes. UFC 259. Definitely solid event. Very, very solid event. Three title fights. Let's kick it off right at the top. The main event, Israel Adesanya versus Jan Blachowicz. Blachowicz took the decision. Um, and I'll just kick it off. I'll give my thoughts on the fight. I honestly disagree with the decision. I thought Adesanya won rounds 1 through 3. I thought Blachowicz definitely won 4 and 5. I wouldn't be mad if you called it 3-2 either way. You know what I mean? I could see it being 3-2 either way for the fighters, but I think the judges' scorecards were egregious, horrible. Like I don't even get Joe Rogan was cock buffing, man. I don't understand how you could be like, oh, he took him down and he kept him down. That's a 10-8. How? None of those fucking rounds was 10-8. I've seen
Mm-mm.
people get the shit beat out of him on the ground and I get a 10-8 round. Yeah, he took him down. He controlled him. He landed some strikes. But it wasn't
Didn't
nowhere
even
near a
land
10-8
anything
round.
major though.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a 10-8 round. At the end of, I believe, the fourth round or the fifth round, he banged on him a little bit the last 10 seconds, but it was nothing, nowhere near a
No
stoppage. I mean,
cuts.
yeah, I mean, and a lot of it, I don't even think in the fourth round he passed his guard. A lot of it looked like he stayed in half guard and did enough to not get stood up. You know what I mean? And did enough to control the fight, which is smart strategically. But I don't think that. I definitely think the scorecards was just way to fuck off. I couldn't see how you would give 4 rounds to Jan or give him any 10-8 rounds at all. I do think that Izzy fought. He looked tentative to a certain extent. He didn't look as fast, and I thought that he wasn't as fluid with his striking. It seemed like he was hesitant to throw. He was having some success, but he wasn't really, he seemed like a little bit slower at that weight, man. What did you think?
No, I pretty much agree with most of what you said. Actually,
Mhm.
all of what you said. I felt like it was 3-2. I scored a 3-2 Izzy. Now
Mhm.
he wasn't winning those first 3 rounds by a big margin, but I
Yeah, yeah.
felt like he was winning them. Uh,
Mhm.
Izzy had hurt Blakewicz, I believe, was it round 3? And I didn't see Izzy ever get hurt by Blakewicz's power, but I think he
No.
almost, he could have probably pursued that and maybe he got a knockout because he had him pretty stunned. Um,
Yeah.
so I just feel like Izzy was doing enough. He was doing the leg kicks. I think Yan wasn't doing enough in the first 3 rounds to win those rounds. He was more tentative. He was reacting to the feints a lot. He was kind
Mhm.
of shook off the feints. He was checking some kicks, which was that was pretty good. He was checking some kicks, and he got the big ass legs. So I think he was kind of wearing out Izzy's legs just off the checks. But I still would have liked to see Izzy. I think he could have thrown more kicks to the body,
Yeah. More like
and worked that jab a little bit better.
definitely the jab.
So I don't think Izzy had the best strategy going in, but I think Izzy in general just made a huge mistake going up and taking this fight with no fight in between. He should have gone up and fight
Mhm.
a lower level guy, get used to the weight. I think his arrogance a little bit caught him was his downfall. I think had he trained, because that's a good 4 or 5 months you have to adjust to that weight with the guy with the
Mhm.
fight in between. I think he could. I think if he had another chance, he probably beats Yan convincingly. But I don't know. I just think it was a mistake to go up there. I think he let John Jones kind of get in his head, talking a lot of shit. So he wanted to go up there as soon as possible and get this done. Try to get a shot at John. So it's rare that you see Izzy make like a mental mistake, but I think this was, you'd say, his biggest mental mistake, just taking this fight with no fight in between.
I mean, I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I think that he just came in there with a poor strategy. I think maybe he underestimated Jan. You know what I mean? I think that if he maybe would have employed a better strategy, I think he definitely could have won. I actually had him winning, but you can't
Me
leave it
too.
in the judge's hands. I think he definitely needed to be a little bit more busy with his hands and his legs. He was having success with the leg kicks. The jab, absolutely. When you're longer, even though Jan is a big dude, he still had the length advantage by I think 2 or 3 inches. Um, when you have the longer reach advantage, use your jab. I think one thing to point out, and we pointed this out on the preview, was Izzy's grappling. Izzy's grappling looks subpar on the floor, be it tired or be it whatever. He looked bad on the ground. You know what I mean? He looked bad on the ground. He wasn't really, once Jan got on top of him, he wasn't framing. He was just kind of trying to explode out of that position. I always said that. We never saw Izzy on the ground. And I
Yeah,
said that it'd
no,
be
that's a good
interesting to see
point.
if Jan took him down. You know what I mean? And when we saw him on the ground, obviously Jan is a much bigger dude, much bigger. He probably outweighed him by 30 pounds on fight night. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we never saw him on the ground, and his grappling didn't look good. And I think that's the thing in the welterweight division. Nobody was really able to get close enough to take him down, or if they could, they weren't able to keep him down. And in the beginning of the fight, I think he got down and he was able to get up. Able to scramble out. But as the fight went on, he got taken down. I think it's going to be interesting to see in welterweight when people look at that and go over those game tapes and rewind and see, okay, well, maybe we need to just take him down because you get rid of that length and you get rid of that striking and you put him on his back, then it evens out the fight a little bit. You know what I mean? So I definitely think Izzy needs to work on his grappling prowess. Shout out to him for going up. I don't think it was his best performance, but I still stand on. I think he won 3-2. I'm not mad at anybody that has it. Jan 3-2, but the judges, I think they were smoking crack in between rounds or something. They was doing blow. I don't know what fight they was watching
I've
because
never seen that 10-8 shit like that. Just for taking
like
somebody
that,
down,
never.
like get the fuck out of here.
Now I see somebody damn near get killed and not get a 10-8 round. You know what I mean? Let alone a takedown where you taking down, no blood was drawn, you're not landing any elbows, you're not really advancing your
He didn't
position.
land anything really major. I think towards the end of the fifth, he landed maybe
Yeah.
one clean elbow, I believe.
Yeah,
But
he landed some hammer fists, but nothing that was just like, was
close to
ground
putting
shaking or
Izzy
shit
out or
like
anything like that. A
that.
10-8 should be total dominance. Like you said, a cut, some nasty elbows, something like that. Um,
Yeah.
he basically just used his weight and he was leaning on him and he was, I don't think he was even really catching him clean. He caught
Excellent
him a
strategy.
few times.
Yeah, good strategy though. Good strategy. I think if he would have stood up, he would have got beat. You know what I mean? So he understood that, and I think it was a mental mistake with Izzy because Izzy had said he thought he was going to come out early and try to take him down, and Jan was like, "No, I'm gonna wait later," which was brilliant. Like, no, I'm gonna wait till
It's
later.
smart,
I'm gonna let
definitely
you. I'm gonna
smart.
let you get your shit off. I'm gonna let you get your shit off. I'm gonna get some of my shit off, and then once you get a little bit exhausted, I'm gonna run in and I'm gonna take you down. Because those takedowns, it wasn't like they were just. They were good takedowns, but it wasn't just like immaculate. It was one of those ones that they were pretty standard takedowns. It just
And
was
a
he
lot of it
timed
was
them
Izzy
good.
being tired too, like you said. He
Yeah,
was
and he timed him good, and
fatigued.
once he got him down, Izzy wasn't dynamic off of his back, which surprised me. He wasn't really dynamic off of his back. He really was just trying to explode out. I thought he'd be a little bit better in the guard. I thought he would try to get back to, he was in the half guard and wasn't really trying to really do anything but explode out. So he definitely needs to brush up on that moving forward. You know what I mean? But in any way, Jan's a champion. Salute to Jan. You know what I mean? It wasn't a robbery. It wasn't a robbery either way. Um, even though the scorecards was fucked up. But shout out to him. Want to see him versus Glover. You know what I'm saying? I think Glover's going to get in that ass. You know what I mean? Now, the co-main event, Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson. We called this. We called this fight. We gave our predictions, on the preview show. What you think, Nip?
Man, she's just Amanda is just on another level. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
she's a fucking beast. She's like the damn Terminator in there. She
Yeah.
walked her down. She clipped her early, and she just went in for the kill. Wasn't much to it. She's just a superior striker, and she
Yeah.
has more power. And Anderson, we said, I think I said that she, Nunes could get in there. Like Anderson's big,
Mm-hmm.
and she has decent power, but she just those long arms, looping punches, and Nunes could just get right in there and just pit bull her. Just she went full pit bull
Yeah.
on her and just shoot her ass up.
Yeah.
We weren't surprised on this. I actually bet on this. I took the under on my betting site, and I got a little bit of bread off of that, so that was good.
No, absolutely. I agree with everything. I mean, we basically picked Nunes
I
by
think I
anything
said
she wanted.
second round. I think if I remember, I think I said
I
second.
forgot what I said. I don't know if I picked the round. I just said by domination, and I don't even think I picked the way. But Nunes is just amazing. She's amazing. I know the only caveat I had with I said on the pre-show was, it'd be interesting to see how her having the baby would affect her. She looked meaner than fucking before. I mean, and this was a big Gargamel looking chick too, man. Anderson was big as shit. I didn't know she was that big when they got in the cage, but it didn't matter. I mean, Nunes was just all on her. She was all over. I think what was dope, which I loved about the fight, Nunes showed her grappling. And that's something that we said in the pre-show. And I said she's a better grappler too. She showed her grappling and she
No
finished
doubt.
her by combination triangle armbar from the rear, which was dope. I was going nuts so when I seen that, just because we're used to Nunes knocking people out. Nunes is a crazy grappler though. She took her back, she controlled her. She just shows she's in another level. I mean, I think we have to start talking about Nunes on that pound for pound list.
I
I mean, we
agree.
have
I
to. I
agree.
mean, high up. You know what I mean? She's
I'm
a
with you.
fighting champion in two divisions. She's a fighting champion. She's cleared out basically two divisions. I
And
think they're saying
she took out Cyborg. Nobody wanted Cyborg. Nobody wanted no
she
smoke with
took
Cyborg.
she took out Cyborg. She took out pretty much everybody. You know what I mean? She's been on a killer run. They're talking about her fighting the Venezuelan vixen, Juliana
Oh,
Pena.
she was talking that shit on the Ariel
Yeah,
Hawani show.
but I mean, man, be careful what you ask for, man. I'm gonna watch it because I'm a Nunes fan. You know what
Big
I mean?
Leo says, I think I called second round for Nunes. It was first, so
Oh, look at
we'll
Leo.
see.
Leo on his cell phone. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, yeah. No, I mean, I think that but Nunes is just on another level from everybody right now. I don't see it. I think at some point she's just going to have to pack it in. You know what I mean? And she even said in the post fight interview, she was like, "My daughter makes me stronger. Like I'm more fierce now than I was." And I believe it, man. She fucking ran through me, and you know what I mean? Yeah. Shout out to Nunes, man. Definitely.
There's nobody out there you can see that's gonna give her problems.
Yeah, even give
As
her a
far
good
as
fight. Even give her a good fight. I don't think Juliana Vega has it. I mean, I think you can go in there. I'm not saying she's not tough, but shit, man. Nunes will knock out Jake Paul. You know what I mean? Like in a
I would
boxing
love to see
match.
that. I would pay to see that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like she's up there, bro. Like when you look at it, when you look at the overall legacy, you start having to talk about her. Like, okay, well, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like she's a two division champion and she's floored everybody. Like none of her fights have been close since she's been in the game. So I'll be interested. I'll definitely tune in for her next fight. But she definitely confirmed why she was such a heavy betting favorite on that fight because I
She
mean
was like
I don't
12 to
think
1, 12 to 1, some
12 to
shit like
1.
that.
Yeah, yeah, 12 to 1. And honestly, did Anderson hit her?
I don't think
Did
so.
Anderson hit her?
Maybe once or
I don't
twice, but she didn't get
I don't know,
shit.
man. You know what I'm saying? Moving on though. Sterling Funk Master versus Jan. This
Wow.
fight. Wow. This fight. Entertaining fight. Entertaining fight. Definitely entertaining fight.
Controversy.
Controversy, man. A lot of controversy. Um, so let's just get into it. Let's break down the fight. Round one, Sterling came out and was throwing a million fucking punches and leg kicks.
Too many
Um,
punches.
Too many punches. Too many punches, too many kicks. Um, I thought that round was pretty even, but he got dropped. So I had to give that round to Jan. Second round, I thought Sterling controlled the round. And I gave that round to him. Third round, I thought Sterling started to wear down, and Jan got the third round clearly. Fourth round, pretty much more of the same. And I had Jan winning that fourth round or going into the end of the fourth round. I thought he was up. He was going to be up 3-1. And then we had the foul and we had the need to a down opponent. I'm a hard knee. The thing about it is sometimes when you look at MMA fighters, sometimes they play that game where they put their hand on the ground and they left their hand up and they put their hand on the ground so they can't get kneed.
Yeah,
Sterling never
yeah.
played that game the whole fight. When he was down, he was down. When he was up, he was up. He never played that fight. That was a horrible knee. And the fight ended up being stopped. Jan ended up being disqualified, and they awarded Sterling a belt. I hate to see a title change hands like that. I hate to see a title change hands like that. That's all I'm gonna say for now. Give me your thoughts, man.
No, I mean, okay, so I definitely I had picked Sterling to win the fight. And I thought he was
You
doing
too.
good early. I thought Jan was taking control of the fight when he made the foul, which makes no sense to me. Like you gotta be smart. You're gonna do some dirty ass shit like that when you're probably about to take, you're probably about to win the belt because Sterling didn't look like he had much on his punches going into that. Was it the fourth? Right, it was fourth. Going into the fourth, he didn't look like
Yeah, going to fourth. Yeah.
he didn't look like he had much on his punches. He wasn't throwing anything with any pop or anything. Jan looked fresher, a little bit fresher. He was throwing the harder stuff. He was kind of catching Sterling a little bit. You never know what would have happened, but it was just to me it was stupid and dirty to make that foul happen. There's no reason for it. Like you're a fucking pro fighter and you're gonna blame it on your corner. They're like, oh, his corner said to do it. Like everybody, I'm a fucking fan. I've never been in the fucking ring, and I know you can't knee a fucking dude in the head when he's on the fucking ground. Like I don't understand
this
this
corner
shit.
stupid. Like I mean, err on the side, like you said, not to cut you off. Err on the side of caution. You're in control of the fight. You're up. Was he up 3-1 to you?
Yeah, I think 3-1. Yeah, but it was it was closer than it didn't. You know, it wasn't like a dominant 3-1. It was 3-1, but it was 3-1
Yeah.
nonetheless.
It was 3-1, right? So you're up 3-1. You're going into the fifth. Fuck it, err on the side of caution. You know what I mean? Like there's no need to knock him while you're down. You're controlling the fight. From the third and the fourth round, you had control of that fight. It looked like he was gonna cruise to either a stoppage or a unanimous decision. So there's no need to hit him while he's down. You know, I guess in the heat of the moment things happen. But I mean, if it was your corner, that's super poor cornering. Because what the fuck was y'all looking at? His hand was clearly down. You know what I mean?
Is that legal in other fighting things?
Not in the United States, definitely not. In Pride, you can knee and kick and everything, but Pride's been gone. I'm not sure about in ONE FC if that's legal, but I mean he's a UFC champion, so
Yeah.
so I mean he knows the rules. You know those are the unified rules. You know the rules, so just don't hit him. Having said that, Matt Serra, Sterling's head coach, didn't come out for whatever reason. I don't know if it was. I don't think it was COVID, but he just didn't come out. I don't think his corner did a good job of pacing him. I thought that Sterling showed like if he would have stayed on the outside and used his length and used his jab and things like that and kept him at bay, I thought he would have been a lot better. I don't think Roy Longo did a good job in between rounds of saying, "Hey, settle the fuck down,
Pace yourself,
calm down, pace yourself, sit back, use your length." And get to him. You know what I mean? Stop all of this. He had all of this nervous energy. You know what I mean? Where he's throwing everything. He came out and I think he threw like 100-something strikes in the first fucking round. Calm down. And
way too many.
I don't think Longo did a good job of saying, hey, calm yourself down. You have the reach. He can't strike with you if you keep him at range. Keep him there and then go for a takedown. You know what I mean? At the same time, Jan is like a little Terminator, man. His game is he likes to be in those deep waters. He likes to be in fights. If you look at Aldo, and he gets stronger as the fight goes on. You know what I mean? So I think it was one of those things where Jan definitely seemed like he was cruising to victory. I know there was a lot of backlash online with Sterling. In terms of him,
I don't get it.
I don't get it. He got hit with it was not like he's faking. People are saying Oscar. He got hit with a clean ass fucking knee by a pro fighter, unprotected to his head.
Full power.
He definitely was rattled. Full power. And if he would have continued and got his ass knocked out, nobody would have said anything about it. You know what I mean? Nobody would have said anything. I think another thing to think about is when the fight ended, one judge had Sterling ahead. Right? So if the fight continued, they were taking at least 1 point. They might have took 2 points. If they took 2 points, Sterling's up on everybody's scorecard. So if Sterling doesn't get knocked out or doesn't get dominated in that fifth round, it's a draw regardless. Or maybe it's a majority decision for Sterling. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I don't get the backlash. You know, people think he's capping. It's no doubt he got hit with a hard-ass knee. And I don't blame him because if he would have continued and got his ass stopped, nobody would have nothing to say. I think if anything, they can run it back and then we can see what's what. I would think that Sterling would fight a way better strategy in the rematch and not be as nervous and not be as just anxious to get those strikes off.
Yeah, I'm picking Sterling in a rematch.
I would too.
I think he'll come out. I think he'll be a little more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll. I think he can adjust. I think he can do more things than Peter Yan.
Yeah.
I think Yan has the power. He's explosive, but on the ground, you see. I mean, he wasn't doing much. He was able to get up, but he's not like dangerous on the ground or anything like that.
No.
So
I mean, Jan's an iron will dude, man. He's another one of them dudes. You know what I'm saying? He's an iron will person. He has a lot of cardio. He pushes forward, and he's tough. And he's one of those dudes that's like an attrition fighter. He wears you down, kind of like Porter. Like, he's gonna fight. He's gonna be there the whole fight, and he's gonna, when you're kind of tapering down, he's gonna kick it up. But I think that as long as Sterling employs the right strategy, doesn't come out there all nervous because he's already been under the big lights, and he's a champion defending. I could see him winning. I could see him winning the next fight. But I like to see anybody talking shit to take a knee, take a clean knee to the head after you fought for 20 minutes. Let's not forget he had been fighting. He fought 4 or 5 minute rounds. Take an unprotected knee to the head. See if you want to continue fighting.
UFC has a lot of like extra casual fans. You know what I mean? Boxing has casual fans, but UFC has like very casual fucking fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a lot of them, the ones that were up in arms about it. Like, you're gonna tell me, like you said, you're gonna take a clean ass knee and you just expect this dude to fucking shake it off and get back in there? Like, fuck nah. No way.
And like, he was on his way out anyway. He was going to be stopped anyway. You don't fucking know. It was another round.
You seen tired people land some cold ass shit and knock people out?
You've seen tired people get home run submissions. You've seen tired people get a boost of energy in the 5th round. He was going into that 5th round, so he deserved to fight that 5th round. And I don't blame him. You know what I mean? I think if he would have got up and lost, it'd have been a problem. If he would have got up and got injured, God forbid, it would have been a bigger issue. You know what I mean? If he'd have got up and fucking something really happened to him and he ended up with a brain bleed or, damage because he already was fucked up, I mean, then it would have been a bigger issue. So I think he did the right thing by not continuing. If you can't continue, you can't continue. It was a clean knee. And I think at this point in time, let's just look forward to the rematch.
Yeah, I just feel like Jan needs to get some of the blame. Like, I don't understand why Sterling is getting all the fucking blame when clearly this dude is the one that did the cheapest. Like I said, I think that was one of the dirtiest fucking strikes I've ever seen in UFC. And I've been watching since the beginning of this shit.
I mean, he was playing dirty pool, man. I mean, it was dirty pool. And your corner, whoever, there's no excuse for it. You're in the ring. I mean, what's legal, what's not illegal. You know what I mean?
But he's a dumbass. He cost himself the belt.
Yeah, I mean, and it was an unneeded knee. Like, you were in control. You could have just snapped him down, rotated to his back. You could have just kept him there, stood him back up. You were controlling pretty much every space in that fight. The takedowns, the striking. You were ahead everywhere. You could have let him up and beat on him. You could have tried to get him down. There was a lot of options there. I get it. You were trying to end it, but you should have waited till he stood up. I mean, I think it was definitely dirty, and I didn't even think about that. There literally is no backlash to Jan. There isn't. I haven't heard anything. Everybody's like, "Oh, he deserved the Oscar. He's an actor." Oh, blah 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 blah. Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What about the dude who did the dirty shit to begin with? Like, come on, man.
Absolutely, that caused that. You know what I mean? And they were saying, John Jones threw a similar knee against Jimmy Smith in one of the title defenses. One, it was way earlier in the fight. You know what I mean? And that has a lot to do with it. And everybody. I mean, everybody isn't the same, man. We don't know how hard the knee hit. We don't know. We do know it was a solid knee. It wasn't like it grazed him and he fell out.
Nah, that shit was clean.
And even when they were showing him, it looked like his eyes was spinning. You know what I mean? Like, it looked like he wasn't right. And I think the doctor took hella long to call the fight.
Yeah, that was fucking weird.
He should have called it off the rip. He should have called it after a quick evaluation as a medical professional.
He was trying to pressure him to basically continue is what it was. Him and the ref.
Exactly. Both of them. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And that's just fighter safety is paramount, and that's first. And we can see it again. Let's run it back, and we can see what's what. You know what I mean? And that's really all I got to say about that.
I wouldn't even be mad if Sterling said, "Fuck you, I ain't running it back. You did some shady ass shit." I could see that because I might be similar. Like, fuck you. Like, you fucking need me when I'm down. Eat a dick. And go after Cejudo because Cejudo's trying to come at him now. Another thing the fans were saying was that, Sterling shouldn't have been partying afterwards because there was like videos of him partying. I mean, a couple hours later, what the fuck? I mean, I don't know.
Was he?
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of, I don't know.
This shit's sus. I mean, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the shit is sus. But at the end of the fucking day, man, I mean, I don't know if he went to the hospital under concussion protocols or what. But I mean, he can live his life. He can do what the fuck he want to do. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
People lose a fight and go party. You know what I mean?
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not about, he fought. If he was that hurt, how the fuck do you know? Maybe he went, got evaluated, got this and that, and he couldn't fight. Just because he couldn't continue the fight right then and there doesn't mean hours later he's not okay to get up and do what he needs to do. It just means at that point in time he was incapacitated. You know what I mean? Like that's
I'm
all that
with you.
means.
I'm with you.
It's people that get knocked out, like you said, and go to their after party. You know, if they don't
Yeah.
go to the hospital, those people that get stopped, they get a TKO and they go to their after party. It doesn't mean you're not hurt. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that you're well enough to go to whatever you're doing. So I mean, if he was partying, I mean, I think it's I don't think it's a good look. But at the end of the day, that's not the end all be all. I mean, he wasn't dead. He didn't act like what the fuck. He couldn't continue the fight at that point in time. You have 5 minutes to recover. That's a very short window. You have 5 minutes to recover. So because he wasn't good to go in 5 minutes, doesn't mean 5 hours later he's not okay. You know what I mean? I mean, and that's it. That's all. So and I think we're gonna close it out with
like you said. Let's see him run it back. Let's see him run it back.
Let's see him run it back. I mean, I think that's what has to happen. I mean, I think that has to happen. I think there's a lot of there's even more promotion for it. And I think it's just a fight that needs to be made. And I think it'll be made fairly quickly, and they could both get into it. And I'm still picking Sterling, man. I still think he's the more complete fighter. I think hopefully he has a better game plan, or just is not as erratic with his striking, and we can see what's what. You know what I mean? Now
I forgot to mention in the Flurry. Are we gonna do another one here?
We're gonna do one more. Yeah, we're gonna do one more.
Okay.
Islam Makhachev. And we've covered this the last episode in terms of Khabib saying he's the future of the lightweight division. He was on the start of the card against Drew Dober, dominating performance. His grappling was incredible. I know some casual fans, even Nate Diaz, said it was a boring fight. I thought it was dope. I thought that his takedowns, his knee cut guard passing, I thought his positioning was crazy. Like I thought he really showed like an elite level of grappling. There was one segment at the end of the first round where he passed the guard and Dober turtled up and he took his back. Dober rolled over and he jumped on an arm bar. It was just a crazy, crazy transition. He didn't finish it, but it just showed the level of the grappling prowess and the level of grappling that he's on. And then he ended up stopping him, submitting him with the arm triangle from half guard. And people that don't know grappling, that's not easy to do. Really, people don't tap from an arm triangle and half guard. Usually you get it locked in and you have to knee cut and get out the guard and submit the guy. So for him to have that squeeze and that power and that pressure, man, I think he's a bad man. I think he's a bad man.
I was impressed.
Absolutely. And I look forward to seeing him in the future. You know what I mean? Against better contenders.
Mm-hmm. They're talking about Ferguson. That was a name I heard.
Tony Ferguson's a good one. He also called out Rafael Dos Anjos, and Dos Anjos said he'll fight him, but he said he'll fight him if when he wins, he can fight Khabib again, because him and Khabib, he lost to Khabib, he lost a decision to Khabib. But I just want to see him in the mix. You know what I mean? Against some of the top tier talent. I think he definitely can make his mark. He definitely showed me some things in that fight.
Yeah, so I don't get the hate. I thought I was very impressed. I thought he was.
I was very impressed, and I mean, I thought and Diaz knows. I think he just talking from a grappling standpoint, man. He was cooking, man. He was passing guard. He was taking him down. He was controlling the fight. I mean, he was dominating him on the ground. So I mean, I think it was a very amazing performance to me. You know what I mean? So I don't know what the fuck people was looking at.
Yeah. Also on the card, Cruz got a win. I think we had talked about that. I think I picked Cruz to get that win. So that was kind of impressive, just because he's up there in age.
Yeah, Cruz came back and he's up there. And Cruz was dope. I mean, Cruz was a perennial contender. Excuse me. He was just injury plagued most of his career. You know what I mean? But I thought that it was good to see him get a win. I mean, and he definitely switched the game as far as striking. You know what I mean? As far as striking, he had the crazy footwork. I mean, he was in some battles. And it was interesting during the fight, they were saying he's for a fighter, he's old, but he's young in ring miles.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't fought a ton of fights because he's been on the sidelines multiple times with injuries, for a year plus. So, I mean, it's good to see him back in the fold. That wasn't he was winning, but that was still a fight where, it was close. It was a closer fight than I thought, his opponent. But shout out to Dominic Cruz as well, man. Absolutely.
All right.
You know what I mean?
I will want to take time to thank all the viewers for tuning in.
Absolutely.
There is one more thing. There's a couple more things in the boxing world we forgot to cover in the Flurry, but we got the Chocolatito and Estrada fight is tomorrow night. I believe it's on the Zone, so tune into that. And then also on Showtime we got.
Turtle, hold on. Hey Leo, we bet the bottle on it, Leo. No tomfoolery. We bet the bottle, man. Send me mine right after the fight too, man. I'm not playing that with you, cuz. You know what I'm saying?
On a Showtime we got I got some money with him too. On Showtime we got David Benavidez taking on what's his dude name? Ronald Ellis. 12-round bout, 6 p.m. Showtime. So tune into that if you guys want to check some shit out. Pretty loaded weekend. We got the fight night as well.
Absolutely loaded weekend. It's always good when we have a good fight weekend. And we'll be back to recap. We'll be back to recap and give our predictions. And shout out to the subscribers. Follow, share, subscribe, comment. Let us know how you feel, man. And we're going to keep this content coming.
This guy. Vamos, chocolate.
Look at Leo. Leo loves chocolate Tito. Yeah, we're going to see, Turtle. We're going to see, Leo. We're going to see.
Strada going to work him. Strada way more dynamic. He's a better boxer.
Big Leo.
Chocolatito been through some wars.
I ain't gonna wait till round 6 to make the bet either. You know what I mean? Like some people, Leo. Super Bowl.
But yeah, thank you for tuning in, y'all. Give us a like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Help out with the analytics. Also, we got a little thing to promote here. We got the check out the Gold Dirty Bastards podcast as well. We're on the Gold Dirty Bastards YouTube channel. Same umbrella. On there we talk a little bit more. We're more vague. We go into many topics. So we wanted to break this off and do Deadly Combination just to focus on the combat sports because that's something we're interested in too. But on there it's just a little more chaotic, crazy.
They got a lot of content too on it, and they branch out. And you'll see me back on there. You know what I mean? I'm pop back in on that as well. It's all the same umbrella. This is more fight centric and fight focused. Definitely tune into Gold Dirty Bastards. This is the Deadly Combination presented by Gold Dirty Bastards. Shout out to Leo and everybody over there.
All right, we out.
All right, we out, man. Peace.
Peace.